I'm literally about to hit 100K, and I just realized the last time I did a get to know me was when I hit 10K. So a lot of you probably do not know that much about me other than what you see about me from day to day. I figured we could go ahead and do that because I am actually trapped in my car waiting for the rain to stop so I can go inside of Target. So for starters, you guys probably all know this, I have 2 boys, so I'm a mom of 2. I grew up with 6 siblings. I have 5 sisters and 1 brother. So when I say I'm a girl's girl, I'm a girl's girl, like just by birth. I was born that way with lots of sisters, and then I have 1 brother who, he is actually the baby of the family. He is 19 years old. What are you doing? Because I grew up with so many siblings, I always said I do not want a lot of kids, if any, and I was very shocked, to say the least, whenever I got pregnant with my first son. And now I have 2 kids. We definitely want another one, and we think about it, and I'm like, should we have a 4th potentially? And I think I will never really feel done having kids because I have loved being a mom so much. So I completely understand why my mom wanted to do that so many times. Before I started posting on social media, I was a nurse for about a year. Before that, I just did whatever. I was a manager at a pizza place. When my son turned a year old, I went back to work. I did that. I've worked in a daycare. Before I had him though, I was a server and a bartender, mostly a bartender. And I actually bartended while I was pregnant for the entire time to save up for maternity leave. He is so over his car seat right now, so he's just gonna be like climbing around. I met my husband when my son was 3 years old, and I have the actual craziest story. I can do a whole story time on our whole relationship, but basically I was celibate for 2 years. I wouldn't talk to anyone, I wouldn't date anyone, whatever. I was waiting on the man that God sent me to marry, and I moved into my apartment, and he literally helped me move in. We went and had a coffee date, and then we hung out every single day, and eventually he just stopped going home because our apartments shared a wall. Actually insane. And then within 6 months we were married and had a baby on the way. And you could call us crazy, except for the fact that we're still married going on 3 years, and I have never felt more sure of something in my entire life. Like, we literally just never looked back. In fact, after the first time he saw me, he immediately went to his mom's house and told her that he just knew that I was the girl that he was going to marry, because he also had been like waiting and praying and just going through like a season of just feeling like he wanted to settle down and wanted to meet the person he was supposed to be with forever. I'm pretty ADHD, so I'm kind of jumping around all over the place, but back to growing up. Obviously I had 6 siblings, so my dad was a welder. He worked on the road, he made really good money, but there's only so much to go around when you have that many kids, so we just kind of didn't have a lot. But I was always a diva, like always worried about like doing hair and makeup and just all of the girly things. But at the same time, I was very much a tomboy. Like when my dad was home, I was the one in his shop building go-karts and stuff with him, so I'm very much a mixture of all of those things. But I loved fashion, I loved clothes, I loved shopping, all of that stuff, but obviously we couldn't do that very much. So as an adult, I really love to find affordable stuff. The fact that Walmart is popping off the way that it is, I am so passionate about just sharing anything affordable. That's why I do a lot of TikTok shop. Anything that can be accessible to everyone, I'm all about it, because I also grew up in a small town. So even if like we had the money to shop the way that we wanted to, or even needed to sometimes, that wasn't really much of an option without like traveling. And who the heck's traveling with 7 kids? Not my mother. Well, I mean, like she would, but like obviously that's not, it's just not accessible. So I'm very passionate about that. I post like hot mom content, but really what I mean is like still take care of yourself, make room for yourself in motherhood, because your kids are not gonna do that for you. That's something that you just kind of have to work in there, and they just accept it and they learn to accept it. Especially having boys, I really love them to see the woman making time for herself, because they're gonna be husbands one day and they're gonna have to carve that time out for their wives, and I just think it's very healthy for them. I started posting on social media less than 2 years ago. I was actually on maternity leave and was getting ready to go back. There was COVID in the building where I was working, and so I asked if I could extend my maternity leave. They told me they could not hold a spot for me and that I would lose my job, and I was like, I'm willing to do that because I'm not bringing COVID home to my 2-month-old. And I was bored and decided that I wanted to post content, and then also was like, you know, if this could become something and I could replace income, that would be amazing. And then I could just stay home with the baby and not have to put him in daycare and stuff like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I had to do that with my first child when he turned a year old. But I did want like just at least a year, and now here we are. He's almost 2, and this has completely like replaced all of my income as a nurse. And I do sometimes still miss nursing because I really loved healthcare. I actually got valedictorian in nursing school, so I really loved learning about it, and I think it's a very important job, but I don't think it's more important than my job as a mom, and I'm able to do this like as my job and take care of my kids. So for the time being, I will not be going back as a nurse until life just makes sense for me to do that, but I will keep my license and uphold that. And I may even go back for my nurse practitioner and be an injector of some kind. I really like health and wellness and stuff like that, so I could see myself furthering my education for that, but now is not the season for that. I'm in my motherhood era. Okay, and probably the last thing I'm gonna have time to talk about is the fact that I am a Christian. I don't really talk about this a lot because I never want to speak out of term. I don't want to get it wrong. I think there's a lot of like influencers who throw things around, and some things are not always 100% accurate, so I never want to lead anyone in the wrong direction. But I do always like to make it so clear because I do post like hot mom content. Sometimes I feel convicted over that because I don't want it misinterpreted or misunderstood. I do not mean to be like hot in the sense of like a really sexualized or immodest or anything like that. And I think people have different ideas of modesty, and it's totally based on your convictions with God. Like I used to dress like a lot more revealing, and recently like sometimes even like wearing my shoulders out. Not that I think anything's wrong with shoulders, I just feel a little exposed, and God has just changed my heart on that. And I think that you can absolutely still be attractive and like a hot mom, and really what I mean is just like put together. And that's just something that I like to offer and show other women, because I feel like it's so easy to get lost in motherhood and to lose your style and not be able to figure out, you know, like what you even like or how you even want to dress anymore. So I just really like to share that, but with my spin on it. I wasn't going to do setting spray, but I'm pretty sure the rain is going to wash my makeup off if I don't. Of course, I would choose like the one day to drive an hour out of town to go to Target would be like on a rainy day, because I also want to film today. That is the makeup, and that is it for the get to know me. If there's anything y'all want to know and that I missed, because I'm sure that I did because I'm a little scatterbrained, let me know. Ask me anything. I'm pretty much an open book. As long as it's not like private information about my kids, I will tell you anything. So just let me know. But in the meantime, I am so grateful for every one of you who is here and has made this job a reality for me. Like I said, I'm in my motherhood era, and the fact that I'm able to be with my kids and not have to choose between work and career and kids, and I can like make it all into one, is the biggest blessing. Could never fully like explain like how much that means to me. Hey, he literally stole my coffee. You are gonna be pooping. But that is all. I love you guys, and I'll see you later.